Hello, good morning, good morning. Glad to see everybody has made it into the Discord here. Almost said Zoom. Glad to see you all made it into the Discord here. This is so much smoother than Zoom. Yeah, I see. I think this was actually a really good thing that happened then. Yeah, even the audio is better. Yeah, I told you. Man, Discord is really good when it comes to this kind of thing. You know, that's why I say, like, when I game with my brother, we just do it on Discord over here because, you know, even on Steam, the quality is not good when we're like voice chatting and all. So like Discord is designed for this. So I think that's really nice. You see, that's the thing, like, I always look at whenever we get like a setback in life, it's always God trying to level you up somehow. He's trying to level you up. He's trying to push you into something even better. So that's kind of like the mental model you always want to have when you approach any kind of challenge in life, especially with like trading. Every time you get a challenge, just know that somehow God's trying to push you into a way that's going to be more efficient. So I don't take whenever we get a challenge in life, man, we always got to find a way to get a lesson from it. But yeah, glad everyone's here. I can't hear anything. What do I need to get? Sound? That's kind of weird. I don't know, Angie. I think it might be... Yeah, someone's gonna have to type over there. Your output speaker. Maybe somebody can help. I'm waiting for a little bit more structure here. I'm waiting for a little bit more structure here. Let's see, 5 minutes possible market fade. Market fade. Yeah, no, this is not a market fade because price is moving up. A market fade is like if you're trying to do the opposite, you know, if we create a support and then we go down. But, you know, I was waiting for a buy. I wanted to get a buy somewhere around here. I was kind of waiting for the structure to set up a little bit more. See, all right. Where do I put this? Should I put this up here? Kind of distracting. Done. Okay, it's working now. Awesome. Yeah, waiting for a potential buy here on Goldie. Want to see how this is about to set up for us. Anybody got Discord Nitro? Stream should be in like 4K if you got Discord Nitro. See, stop loss below here. How big is that stop? Let's see. Entry. Dune. 9.6. Yeah, I think that looks good. Oh, that doesn't stay on the screen. I'm waiting for this, man, I want to see this candle here first close. I want to see this candle here first close. then for us to skyrocket to the heavens. It's kind of rejecting that resistance. The small resistance on the 5 minute. It's kind of having a hard time on. Oh, here's the push. 5 minutes coming back up. So my break on this 1 minute here has got like 16 seconds. Yeah, I just broke there in the last, just broke here in the last 8 seconds. So I'm going to attempt this buy over here, anticipating price to continue moving up. Let's fly, Goldie. All right, guys. Stop loss to break even here. Stop loss to break even. Up about like 20 pips right now. Come on, let's fly, Goldie. Why are you running?
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Why are you running, Goldie? See, I got my stops to break even. Pretty good push. Up 20 pips right now. I want to secure around, you know, like maybe 30 pips. Let's go. Yes, that's the one. Why are you running? Wow, that candlestick is huge on the 5 minute right now. Just breaking. Seconds going for the all-time highs. This is now a risk-free trade though. Risk-free trade. You know, congratulations anybody caught this trade. You know, if you secured something, or you know, if you're still holding this trade, you're in a profitable position right now. That's all that matters. Let's fly, Goldie. All right, securing right over here, chat. Securing right over here. Holy! Let's go, boys. Let's get this. And that's it. Stream over, guys. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. See where you secured over here. That was funny. This GIF over here was so funny. Why are you running? What strategy do we use here? This was a consolidation break. It's a consolidation breakout over here. I see you've been looking more at the market fades. But, you know, of late, we've just been executing off mainly just consolidation breaks. Beautiful. Zero drawdown again. Let's freaking go. I told you, chat. Zero drawdown strategy. Zero drawdown strat over here. You know, I think it's pretty nice. Hey, good morning, good morning. Too much money. Good morning. I love all this love when you come onto stream and looking for positions and in my very direction. Makes me feel proud of myself. For sure how far I've come. Thank you very oh man. Thank you for that humbling comment. Yeah, so far right now we still got the trend. Trend is still your friend until it bends. We only streamed here for about literally like 7 minutes. So this is what I mean. Like trading does not have to take the whole day. You know, just pick a time in the day where you're expecting like some kind of a move to happen. You know, and that way you can be on the charts less of the time, and then like use the rest of the time more efficiently. So you know, you got some people who like you know, you realize if you're finding yourself waiting too long, just see when that volume tends to come in. But this is definitely one of the more easier ones to spot out here because it's obviously the London Open. And with the London Open, you can expect volume to be coming in. Same way as our New York session open. So yeah, AB, like a market fade would have been instead like if let's say price had come down over here, it pulled down like this, and then it did this reaction. So you kind of got the right idea here, right? But it's should be fading the direction that price was previously coming. So it was coming down to fade up. It was going up to fade down. Or you're 60 USD in drawdown, but good trade. Yeah, thank you, thank you. Yeah, most of my trades give me a bit of drawdown. It looks like it's not drawdown after it plays out. You see like something like this, right? It usually looks like I didn't get any drawdown, but you know, like if you look at the way the trades are taken here, sometimes price will pull down. You know, sometimes it will pull down and like give you a little bit of drawdown, but I just consider this like no drawdown anyway, because it still went up, went straight up. Beautiful. Yeah, that's it. Oh, look at this. Profit taking. Got some profit taking over there. Does this strategy work on all pairs? Yes. It works on all pairs. I just specialize here on gold. It's really good like if you focus on like, you know, one instrument and then like master that instrument. Wow, look at this. People profit taking here. This is at the all-time highs. We just hit an all-time high at a 40.38 over there. See, it's like stress-free. Isn't this less stressful than like an ICT concept where you gotta really like outsmart and, you know, I don't know what, draw something here and, you know, talk about retail traders and liquidity grabs and all of these things? Because the market's going to move. As you can see, it's going to move. It's going to move in whatever direction. No matter how much analysis, how many lines you draw, how beautiful that narrative sounds to you, price is still going to move somewhere. It's either going to move up or it's going to move down. So it's like, how can you catch that move up or down? Like, it depends on you, you know, your strategy and how you're catching it. But at the end of the day, it's going to move somewhere. It doesn't matter what analysis you put on, it's going to move somewhere. So if you're going to think like that, you might as well have a system which is easier to trade where you're not going to burn out and overcomplicate things. Not saying that you have to gamble. You definitely have to put the work in. But if you're a scalper and you need to do a lot of analysis, most of the time you end up missing the moves. Correct? You end up missing the moves. So if you're planning to scalp like this or catch moves like this, you know, this is like a scalp move, but it moved up like 46 pips. Then you need a system which is a little bit, allows you to flow a little bit better. Especially with the current market conditions, at least in my opinion. Because as candlesticks are closing, they're creating always like some kind of a new opportunity. Rather than just drawing like a zone here and then waiting for price to come into your zone. Because every moment is unique, right? So as it's printing over here, it's creating a unique moment that it might not come into your zone. So if you're finding yourself missing moves like this a lot of the time, it's because you're kind of having a system where you want to tell the market what to do instead of just doing what the market is, or just being part of the market's moves. Entry long? No, I'm already done over here. Price is protected by big volume breakout in previous 50 minutes. Still does not have topic. This is early retest by profit taking action. Let's come back to retest our buddies here now, you know. Maybe it just skyrockets back up again. It broke a new high. We also had like nice little inverted head and shoulders there too. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, volume came in. Can't make this up. Literally the same thing we talk about every day. It's just only difference is the market conditions. You know, yesterday's sell, obviously market conditions were not the best, right? And that's where the psychology comes in. It's like, if you could just wait for these days which are more straightforward, where the trade really comes to you, those are the days you kind of want to execute on. But you know, I'm not perfect as well. So sometimes I do end up being a little bit aggressive, but if you understand the context, right, you'll be good in the long run. You'll come out on top anyway in the long run. Because you don't need to be perfect, right? You just need to be more consistent than not. All right, so second buy here for the day. Go buy, just sticking with the trend. Trend is your friend until it bends. Inshallah, beautiful trade. New setup over here for the mentorship. So we're getting a little bit better quality. I think that's really awesome. It's really awesome over here. Better quality of the streams. The thing I like about Discord, you know, the problem with Zoom, when it lags, it doesn't have a system in place to speed up. So with Discord, you notice like if it lags, if it ends up lagging, my voice will just kind of speed up for a bit and then it will catch up again. Hey, Raven. That's so Raven. That's it. That's the move right there. People come in. We get the London Open degenerates in here. And then, you know, that's what they're thinking, that they could push price up all-time highs. And then that's it. So it's really important to be on time, because if you're not on time, then what's going to happen is you miss a move, right? You miss a move and you kind of like want to chase the market at that point. Broke the all-time highs, coming down now. My problem is also similar. I cannot stop trading sometimes. I'm just trying to limit myself. Yeah, you gotta limit yourself. You're the only one who can do that. Just limit yourself to one or three trades a day. But I always say, like, you know, start small so you can see some kind of better control. Like 1 week, you're just gonna do 1 trade a week, and then maybe cap it at 2 trades. Once you can prove to yourself that you can actually be disciplined, then just cap it at 2 trades for a while. You know, and then leave the third trade, because the third trade is always like more emotional. It's, you know, you're gonna be more tired during the third trade. You're heading over to the afternoon by that point during the third trade, so you know you could just cap it at like 1 or 2 trades to start. But you can prove to yourself first you can just do 1 trade a day, and if you still want to trade, just do it on a separate account, just because you do it for like learning purposes. Because actually when you take a trade, it also helps you learn, correct? So that's why we also like to overtrade, because we want to learn. Because if we don't take a trade, we feel like we're wasting time, and I understand that. But you can do that on like a separate account. You do the extra trade on a separate account. Just to see what the difference is, to see how your main looks, and then how, you know, your overtrade, you're going to learn a lot from that one as well. But the main one was going to look a lot more consistent. You'll notice like a difference with the main one. The main one's just going to seem a bit more like in control. It'll seem a little bit more clear. Even if you're not profitable, just the fact that you're taking or limiting your trades somewhat, the results are just going to seem a bit more controlled. And so much volume here today. Yeah, awesome advice there. Yeah, try to limit yourself 2 trades a day. Once you fire those bullets, close everything and forget the markets until tomorrow. Once you notice you're getting better results with less trading, you will naturally want to trade less and be more careful with your entries. I went from 5 to 10 trades a day to 1 to 2 trades. Yeah, exactly. You know, the thing is also like how you deal with a winning streak. Usually when you're winning a lot, you're going to become more cautious with your trades. So, you know, a lot of people when they're on a win streak, they want to take more risky trades because they're like on a high, you know, but actually you should be becoming more like cautious with your trades. Because, you know, if you want to stay on that winning streak, you have to wait for the same confirmations if you want to stay on that winning streak. So you're naturally going to start to take like less trades. You're going to be more cautious with your trades. See, definitely a lesson in there. What date is the rate cut this month? Should be sometime towards the end of the month. Yeah, but at least you know the issues. You know, the important thing is like, you know, the issues, because a lot of the time you know what the issue is. You just have to you just gotta solve the problem. You gotta figure it out somehow. Whether it's like over trading or over risking. At least you know what the issue is. That's the first step. You know, some people don't know what the issue is. That's a different story. So I say a lot of traders are actually already profitable. It's just this thing that they need to kind of tighten up. See, introducing the documents tab, transcripts, fillings, and more. See, official company documents are now just a click away. Oh, nice. Earnings call, transcripts, filings, and investment materials are available in the new document tab on stock pages, helping you analyze markets smarter and stay ahead of the curve. Oh, that's nice. Man, I really love the way TradingView is going. It's a very nice company here. They need to start incorporating more AI though. Yeah, I remember looking for these things like say this is SEC filings and other documents when I was on my smart money concepts vibes, and finding that information is so difficult, and when you find it you don't know if it's like the real one, and you got a lot to go through as well, a lot of documentations to go through, and nobody really teaches that aspect of smart money trade. It's kind of like a Warren Buffett style type of trading. You know, like Warren Buffett wouldn't put an FEG on the chart. He would just go through the earnings. He would actually look at the company on the ground and how they've been performing. And, you know, all of these things matter. These things matter to making like real smart money plays in the market. That's why I just stay on my lane over here. I can't compete with those guys. It takes a lot of work, and I feel like it works a lot better when you have a substantial kind of income, a really big substantial income, and you're doing other things. You know, people like that, they're also doing other things with their life. They're not just trading. But we'll get there one day, chat. We'll get there when we get old and gray. Because, you know, we never stop learning. That's the best way to make it passive. If you dig into that, due diligence. But you see, something like gold is beautiful because the due diligence around gold and the macro fundamentals, it's a lot easier to follow than like a stock. You know, with a stock, there's a lot more moving parts that you have to consider. That's why I really love gold. Straight to the point. See, gold's $4,000 per ounce milestone could be just the start of a new upswing. Yeah, guys, we hit $4,000 as well. Finally hit $4,000 a troy ounce, but it's very possible that the market will keep refusing to cool, says Pepperstone's Ahmed Asiri. Selling gold at this stage has become a high-risk endeavor for one simple reason: conviction. Central banks and retail investors are treating dips as buying opportunities rather than signs of exhaustion. They are no longer choosing between risk assets and gold, but balancing both amid stretched equity valuations, rising long-term treasury yields, and uncertainty about the US debt sustainability. Gold has evolved from the hedge during uncertainty into a conviction trade. Yeah, reflecting doubts about policy. Man, this is exactly even what we spoke about here on the channel this morning when we sent in that post. You see what we said? We said that the market rewards patience, not cleverness. Too many traders lose money trying to call the top in an uptrend or bottom in a downtrend, trying to outsmart what's already working. But trends exist because momentum builds from collective behavior, and that force doesn't turn around just because it feels too high or too low. You know, price can just keep moving up over here. You know, it's the same reason that people believe in Bitcoin. You know, it's like based off of a conviction. And man, when you see that conviction on the charts, you have to trade that conviction. Don't go against it. This is a collective response to where we think price is heading over here. So we did hit 4,000. 4,000 was my target for this quarter actually. So that's already been met. It's a pretty big candle over there now. That's already been met. 2,200 pips. Now 4,100 on the sights here. 4,100. Next possible target. But let's see. Where can we keep going? Let's measure this candle and then measure this candle. Looking at 4,500, maybe 4,400. Say like 4,400 before the year ends now. Be a little bit ambitious. Because you're coming. Daily target smash. Now shut it down. Enjoy the stream. Let's go. Let's go. So what's going on here on Discord? Caught this beautiful GJ cells. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. Entry break during the pre-London candle. Open candle. Stop loss just above. Nice, nice. Who is this? Oh, Cabello Dale. Yeah, he took a sell over here. This was a GJ sell. He had a little clean range on the left-hand side too. In terms of the structure, it definitely could look better. You got the right idea here. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. But in terms of that structure, it definitely could look a little bit better. He had a few more candlesticks close within this and then break below like this. I see price is also moving down. Might have been trading with the trend too. Price moving down. You took a sell and price continued to move down. Nice. See some effects. Let's see. We got a Fibonacci retracement. Oh, the 50 and the 618. Golden zone, 75%. Yeah, I'm not sure about the 75. I think it was a 78 if I'm not mistaken. I think it was like a 78%. Somewhere like 78%. Fortunately, I deleted my old Fib settings, but definitely that's the golden zone. The 50 and the 618. Then you got, I think it's 78 over there. And then just to monitor if price struggles here at the 35. And then sometimes if it struggles and hits the golden zone like this and then struggles, you know, it can start to go against you. So ideally, you just want to see it come in and then go up. Then you also need your Fib extensions over here. I can't remember what the extension numbers were though. But you need some Fibonacci extensions past the 0. But you see this Fibonacci is done because it came in, golden zone, and now it's hit this mark. Are you taking it long again? No, you know, I'm part of the... Today, I'm still part of the 10% of people who made money here today. Why would I want to jeopardize that by taking another position and put myself back into the gulag? You know, you're outside of the gulag right now. Enjoy being outside of the gulag. Oh, Extremer, why are you getting like small timeouts here? Is it actually affecting you a bit? Or is everything good? Oh, I think it's what I think it is, it's walls of text. Not sure, but I'm gonna have a look at that later. At least it's not removing them. Let's see, what does this mean? Man, I can't read that. It's in Spanish. Hurricane bot. Let me see what's going on here. Gold is more stable to trade though. Bitcoin has massive moves and down of the... Yeah, definitely. Bitcoin is a lot more volatile. Yeah, it's just chopping up because we already had a big move, so the market needs to set up again. It's currently setting up here. It's getting ready for another potential move. Can break above resistance. Extremo, what does that message say? It's in Spanish there at the bottom. Este contesto dos moderos. Trying to see what warning it was. Might be a liquidity grab the way it's breaking these lows like this. A lot of bullish momentum still in the market. Definitely still moving up. I can help with the Spanish. I don't think you're going to be able to... Here we go. Este contigo fue bloqueado. Or este. I think Spanish is kind of a nice language. I think you read it like it's spelled, right? Este. Oi. Oh. That's Portuguese. This content has been blocked by the server for the server moderators. Oh, okay. Yeah, but it still went through though. Message still went through. Gonna see what that's about. No. See this? Little fake out. That's what I meant. Like, be a little bit cautious over here. These kind of like breaks towards the downsides, they're most likely going to be fake outs. because price is still bullish right now. Hey, just try copy paste that message again, Ricardo. I want to see if this kind of solved the problem here. You might get timed out, but let's just see if it works. Just copy paste the one which didn't work again. It's accumulating here. It's getting ready to break the all-time highs. That's what I was doing. It's setting up here because it's gonna need like volume to get through this level over here. It's gonna need volume to get through this level. So it's gonna accumulate here a bit more before it starts to break the all-time highs again. Create new ATH. But it needs volume. It needs orders. It needs market participants, and then it can move again. Remember, the distributions themselves are like pretty small, right? They're pretty small, but majority of the time the market's consolidating. Hey Ricardo, did you try copy paste it? Maybe poor guy maybe got timed out here. But the other messages went through. All right, we patiently wait. Why does gold keep buying? Yeah, I think it's just buying here because, you know, there's a lot of things that we've just been talking about the whole time. Gold has potential to rise further. Gold has potential to rise further according to ING. The precious metal has hit a historic $4,000 a troy ounce. Looking ahead, central banks are still buying, with the People's Bank of China extending its gold purchasing streak in September for an 11th consecutive month, despite record prices. President Trump's trade war is still pressing on and geopolitical risks remain elevated, it adds. All this suggests that gold has still further room to run. Oh, you know what I want to try? I want to see if this chat GPT can actually give me a solid answer of why gold is moving up right now based off what we already know. Why is gold currently moving up right now? We just hit $4,000 a troy ounce and it's been bullish the whole year of 2025.
Gold has been climbing above $4,000 per troy ounce due to global uncertainties like geopolitical tensions and inflation. The strong US dollar and increased central bank gold purchases are also driving the bullish trend throughout 2025.
Can you be more specific to the events which have happened this year that has made gold go up?
In 2025, gold surged past $4,000 per troy ounce due to a mix of events. There was a prolonged US government shutdown, which created political instability.
Nice.
And
oh shit.
No worries at all. If you have any more questions or need more details,
Just continue what you're talking about.
Of course. So along with the US government shutdown, there were also concerns about global inflation rates and supply chain disruptions that pushed investors towards safe haven assets like gold. Additionally, central banks in several countries increased their gold reserves, further fueling the bullish trend. It's definitely been a combination of economic and geopolitical factors.
I mean, that's pretty sick. She did say the government shutdown. Kind of looking more specific stuff like that. Pretty awesome. Hello, Discord. Can somebody try and post a wall of text or repost? Because I want to see if the settings here are working. Like copy paste something long. Oh, okay, nice. Thank you. Man, for a second I was wondering what's going on here. People are falling asleep. Okay, yeah, this works. This works. I think it should be good now, Ricardo. I think I pissed Ricardo off. I thought he got timed out for like 5 minutes or something there. But I think he actually just went somewhere. Probably. Awesome. Would it be something to do with the talk getting rid of the USD, a switch over to digital currency? No. It's like the key things. There's been like several events so far this year that has been pushing up gold. First of all, we've been getting interest rate cuts. That's the main one. So see if we can. Okay, so we got interest rates. We have the government shutdown. We have geopolitical risks. This was Russia and Ukraine. But at the same time, we had also what happened there in Israel v Palestine. Yeah, what was it? Israel and Palestine? What else do we have? That's one. 1, 2, 3. We also had trade wars, Trump's tariffs, Hamas, Gaza. Yes, thank you. Sorry, you know, like when it comes to these like political events, I'm not too privy about them because I don't really spend my days thinking too much about that. For me, the way I think it's always like, what are you doing to make your life better? What are you doing to make your family's life better? If you're not planning on actually making a change, I really don't. I'm not going to, you know, post. Like even posting something on Instagram doesn't really help. Like I don't associate myself with those political agendas. So, you know, sorry if I hurt your feelings here because I really don't know what's going on there, to be quite frank. For me, the way I see it, man, it's always a war against the rich and the poor. Life is always a war against rich and the poor. You know, and then a lot of the time, these other things, it kind of for me seems like distractions. Oh, this guy said this, that guy said this, but behind the curtain, somebody is benefiting off of all of that war. But what else do we got? Trade wars, Trump tariffs. I guess we can say conviction. Conviction. Yeah, they're gonna blow up with the arguments. They should remove this. What do we call it? Gaza. The Gaza war. So I don't even like talking about this subject. Anyway, let's see what else. I think that's about it. Those, if you're wondering why gold is moving up, these are the main events that have been happening. So obviously interest rate cuts, the US dollar weakness means gold should be going up. Government shutdown was just a recent catalyst that we had. Geopolitical risk has always been just in the background, a little bit less important, but has been in the background this year. Obviously Trump's tariffs and just a bunch of conviction that price should be moving up. So we can say here in brackets, oops, Central bank buying. That's what we can call that. Central bank buying. Inflation factor. Oh yeah, we got inflation as well. What's inflation at right now? Like 2.5%, I think. Maybe 3%. I think that's it. I mean, Trump coming into office, did that really... I think that has more to do with his policies, the trade wars. Maybe there's some other factors, but I think that's pretty much it. Anybody know anything else we can add on to this list of why gold is moving up? You really don't need anything more than the interest rates, to be honest. That's the main thing. Pirates. Yeah, pirates. Gold 4,000 USD. Let's just say uncertainty. We have a lot of uncertainty in the economy as well. You know, also like with the US, man, US losing a lot of power there, and dollar is also pushing. It's you know, it's more. This has been the worst time for the dollar. This has been the worst time for the dollar since let me see over here. This has been the worst time for the dollar since the US dollar is having its worst year in decades, basically. So you see, there's a lot of uncertainty around the US dollar. That's also driving the price of gold up. I also see that alliance between Russia, North Korea, and China also kind of like working its way into the US dollar weakness. There's a bunch of uncertainty when it comes to the US dollar. China low-key laughing. I don't think we missed anything else. Anybody know anything else? You really don't need all this, but you know, it's good to know. High rate of divorce is one of what made gold go up. Yeah, we got a divorce rates over here are increasing, so you know, price is gonna go up. They say the only thing more expensive than a wedding in Switzerland is a divorce in Switzerland. Low dollar equals less buying from China. Yeah, I think that's about it. Hey, weddings in India. Hey, good one. We got some festivities. Obviously, we got festivities, and that also pushes price up. You see, that's literally about it, chat. Like, we've actually covered quite a good base when it comes to what you should really be looking out for when it comes to the macro fundamentals on gold. And, you know, and that's it. Low dollar equals less buying from China. I read that already. Agent Orange in office. Agent Orange. Watch some nuclear blasts over here. 150-meter uncut footage of underwater atomic blast. This is in 1958. That's an atomic blast. That's not a nuclear blast. Nuclear bombs will create like I think like what, a mushroom cloud? Let's see what this does. Damn, that looks like Godzilla just came out the water. Holy. Man, look at the size of that thing. It looks like those end of the world movies. Like if that was just all a huge ass wave. It is insane what humans are capable of doing. Like, how do you come up with like, you know, creating this unstable particle reaction that creates a massive blast like this? RIP that boat there in the middle. Yeah, it should be like a mushroom cloud and then a huge wave. Blast wave. Shock wave. Do you think 4,000 USD price for gold this year? Man, if we ever see like a nuclear explosion, 100% someone's trying to buy gold. Even if they're not going to survive it. People are definitely going to be buying gold. We're probably going to see gold have one last hoorah. Gonna see a candlestick go like this. Bro, like the most biggest candlestick ever seen in gold history. And then that will be it. Then the charts will just stop completely. Just see a candle go like this. And that will be put in a museum and the aliens are going to look at it. And the title of that painting is going to be Greed. And the aliens are going to be looking at that and saying, wow, man, even when the world was ending, these humans were still trying to buy gold. Isn't that crazy? It's going to be it. They're going to be the Mona Lisa of paintings. End of the world strat. Full port. If that ever happened, I'm full porting my account. Screw it. Why not? Why not? Yeah, look at this. Little liquidity grab situations happening over here. Wicks coming down, taking out lows. It's chopping up quite a bit. That was the only clean move that happened coming onto stream. The rest of it's just been chopped. Gearing up for the next big push up. Kind of lonely over here in Zoom today, guys. I'm the only one in the chat. Zoom chat. So we got everybody here on Discord now. Zoom's gonna become like a Skype soon. See what's going on here on the 1 minute. Looking like beautiful accumulation. It's pretty wide as well. Got this resistance right over here. You got some support. Just needs to, like, you know, pick up some pace, break above the all-time highs, and then we should be seeing that bullish exuberance come in again.
Bomba.
Another bomber clot. Crazy. We're up right now 1.30%. We could easily see 2% by the end of the day. Just straight bullishness. Holy. Man, I wish I was a new trader. You know, these are the environments new traders actually really excel in. Because all you gotta do is hit a buy, right? You don't really know what you don't really have to know what you're doing. You know, you gotta hit a buy on the right day over here and you're gonna make a lot of money. See, price from the Asia Open, just straight bullish. Straight bullishness. Damn, there's a crazy sell-off here on this day. What's when we caught our sell right down over here? The whole move happened, but we still caught a sell down here. It's kind of unfortunate as well sometimes because usually when the market is on a distribution, it wouldn't like really give you like so much of a entry sometimes. Like if it's just pushing down, then you end up always catching the kind of like the last move, because that's when the next structure is kind of like formed for continuation. But during that, you just have to wait and see like prices continue going down. Like that's what happened to me during pre-London today. Basically, like price was just moving up, 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 up. I just knew by the time I was getting in, we would still get a pretty decent move, but it's already going to be setting up here because that's the only structure that it actually gave since the previous distributions. Like right over here, previous distributions. This was the only other point it gave actual structure. But I just knew it. I just know we're going to be able to catch a trade, be able to make some money, but then the retracement's going to come in soon. Because usually it's much harder to trade when there's no structure, correct? So when there's a little bit more structure, a bunch more people can see that structure, and it's kind of like the last pushes. In a situation like this. What happened with Goldie? Nothing. It's moving up here. Been trading GJ for ages, but never seen a move like a rocket since Monday and gap up. Yeah, that was crazy. And GJ is also moving beautifully here today as well. It's already up like 0.40%. So yeah, especially hourly chart. Yeah, look at the size of this candle over here. It's pretty big for GJ. 60 pips. See, this has been moving beautifully. You see, this is the GJ that we all kind of like love and know. Because this was the key thing I was saying about the whole time. We just have to get above 200. See, once we get above 200 psychological mark, we should be seeing a little bit more pressure coming into the market to the upside. Because we got clean range on the monthly over here. Weekly clean range as well, all the way up towards like, you know, 206 over there. And look at the size of that weekly candlestick. Insane. And we just had to get above this psychological mark of 200. I think it was postponing here because I think we had news from Japan, which we're just waiting a bit of clarity from. And then started getting some clarity over here and price moved up. The thing about GJ is moves and it trends, guys. Like GJ also trends beautifully. It's like a gold. If you start trading this year, then unfortunately you haven't experienced this. But like GJ is kind of like a gold. When it starts to move, it's like you want to be on the right side of the market. They'll just keep pushing up over here. You see this quarterly analysis. Did a little bit of accumulation over here, and pound has always just been kind of like on this bull run since, let's say 2020, so around like January 2021. We've just been on a bull run. So I think, you know, pound yen can continue this, especially once we get above 211,973 over there. We should be able to keep filling this range. It should be a little bit more straightforward. Because here there were a lot of speed bumps, right? If you look at the price action, you have like a lot more speed bumps on the lows over here. A lot more speed bumps, right? But you also got a resistance here too. But definitely the price will have an easier time going with the trend. And you see the trend has been predominantly bullish. It's going to have an easier time with the trend to get through these little mini resistance points. And harder time to move downwards. So overall, pound yen has just been, off the quarterly, it's been bullish. Now the intraday timeframes are looking a lot. Oh, nice. Look at this. Gold is breaking above. Gold is finally breaking above resistance. Right over there. Nice. We should see price continue moving up here. GJ.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Buy on Monday, sell on Friday. What day is it? Wednesday, middle of the week volume. See, Goldie can start distributing upwards. This one gave a bit of drawdown. Wasn't zero drawdown. It's at the all-time highs too. Gotta pump it up. That is insane. We just created a new all-time high right now again. Well, 40.39. What a year for gold this has been. 2025. What have we been doing over here? We've been taking a lot of buys. Let's see, gold buy. It's a good mix between buys and sells. What will you look for to buy these highs? I've already scalped 2 of these consolidations, but I feel I'm on thin ice. Then don't take another trade. Like, why must you take another trade? If you've already scalped 2 of these consolidations and you feel like you're on thin ice, you know, just watch it. Just watch it play out. See, I took my trade over here. This is my second trade. I took 1 trade, pre-London buys, London open buys, and that's it. If I want to take another trade, I'm going to take another trade at like a different time. That's how I like to spread out my trading, correct? So it looks something like this. Something like this. Less stressful, you know, stress-free. You don't have to worry about these moves. The only time you're worrying about these moves is if you're trying to compete with people, you know, because some people, they just take moves so they can post it on, like, you know, Instagram or something. But you don't have to compete with anybody. 2 trades, man, even just 2 trades a day is enough. That's enough. You know, leave these other gamblers to take their 5 or 6 trades a day. You know, some people are profitable doing that, but for the most part, the most people doing that are not going to be profitable. Most people who are doing that. But you don't got to show off to anybody. You know, don't gotta show off to anybody. Preserve your capital and paper trade. Let the market teach you something. Yeah, all this something to learn. You see, like a trade like this, man, I'm so happy I'm not over trading. Because if I'm over trading, now look, I'll be sitting in a drawdown over here, expecting price to continue to move up bullish. So I don't have to deal with the stress. You know, I can just watch it and then come back later. Because, you know, the market, it likes patience. It likes disciplined, patient people. It doesn't like overtraders. So if you're patient, you take 1 trade here. It says, okay, you know, the market's going to give you that and say, here you go. Here you go. And then now if you're too greedy, if you come back knocking at the door all the time, it's going to be like, what's wrong with this guy? You know, you're going to become like a DJ Khaled of sorts. You know, then you'll be like, what's wrong with this guy? Why is he always, you know, DJ Khaled's energy is always like kind of bugging these celebrities. Like, hey, Drake, come on my music video. Hey, Justin Bieber, let's do this, let's do that. You know, it becomes annoying. We don't like those characters in real life. The ones who are like always pressing us and pushing us and want something from us. You know, we don't like those characters. You know, the market doesn't like those characters too. It'll give you something, but you got to be humble enough. You know, eat your humble pie, your slice of that pie, and then maybe you can come back later. And it's going to give you another slice. That's it. Yeah, DJ Khalid. Play us a song, Khalid. Oh, the market is going up. Gold is so bullish. And I wanna get a feature on this track. Maybe we can get Drake to say something about gold. I can make the beats and he can rap on my beats. This guy's not even playing the guitar. He's just making noise. What a fucking awesome guitar, but I'm sure he can't even play it. Looks like he can't even play it. Nice little acoustic guitar over here. Is it semi-acoustic? No, it's just a pure acoustic. I want to get a new guitar, but I just don't have time to play the guitar anymore. Oh, worst part is that it's... Oh, that's Bob Marley's guitar. Khalid is just a dum-dum. Man, crazy. Oh yeah, it does say... It says Marley over here. Man, isn't crazy like how paying attention to detail, like it's right under your nose, but you never notice it. I haven't noticed this about the human mind. Like you can have these details, but if you're not super detail oriented all the time, you so easily miss out on these little informations. And trading is kind of like that as well. Like it's so easy to miss out on what's right under your nose. That's gonna help you to become profitable. I think it's like some kind of a subjective thinking. Primary, secondary, primary, secondary. Stops held. This is the fastest trade we've taken this month so far. Let's see. 307. Did we have any other 347? I think it was last month. Let's see if we can bid a record here this month. So a record this month is 7 minutes into stream. Last month we did 12 minutes, I think. That's 43. Oh, we did 8 minutes. Last month it was 8 minutes into stream. That was a record. There's a month here we did 5 minutes though. Yeah, here we go. This was in August. We did 5 minutes into stream. Oh, look at this record here. In August we had 1 minute into stream. Holy. There's no way we're beating that. Oh, we also got another 1 minute into stream here in July. Like 7 minutes again. No way you're gonna beat 1 minute. I think 1 minute is the... Yeah, I think 1 minute is just gonna be the benchmark. I'm gonna do 3 minutes right on the London Open. Got like 3 minutes over here. 5 minutes. No, we don't think we've gotten like a London Open itself. Because that's the thing about trading. It's like you're going to tend to get these trades. You see, we have a lot of them happening at the same time. This one even happened on the 20th at 3:03. And then the next day at 3:03 again. So, you know, what's that? Is that coincidence? Now you're getting these trades happening even at the same time like that. Literally at the same time, back to back. Oh, we got a 3 a.m. one here. So I was on the 14th of May. Go on right at the open. The 3:03. Look, in May we had 3 trades happen all at 3:03 a.m. It's not coincidence, chat. Like they say, what do they say? Like 2 times is when something happens 2 times, it's not a coincidence anymore. You know, that's one thing about trading. It's like when I first started trading and I got one profitable trade, that motivated me because I knew if I could get one profitable trade, I could repeat it again. You know, so it's all about how can I repeat this profitable trade? That's it. What is the stop for gold move? There's no gold move right now, sir. But you can send in a chart and then we can look at your chart. See, you know, Simon sent in a chart over here. It's not a labeled chart, but at least it's trying. Even in Feb 2024, Goldie was at 2,000 in just over a year. It doubled. Insane. Yeah, gold breaking. What would we say? Gold is up this year like a 50%. Platinum's up 80% and silver is up 60%. Hey, good morning, Zain. Zain Malik. People can be very frustrating. Oh, okay, what's this? I was on a call. I actually got pissed off in the call. We were wondering where you went. It's kind of worried there for a second. Thought you got timed out again. And turn off the call. Oh, turn off the call in his face. I hate people that don't take accountability and their action and try to excuse themselves on others. Yes, man, that's the worst. That's the worst thing when people don't take accountability. It's the worst thing. That's why I'm thinking of even increasing the mentorship price, you know, because usually the ones who when you make a product low or for free, man, people are gonna come in and shit on your product. You know, that's why we don't do anything, you know, that's why we don't do anything like everything for free, right? Because if you do something for free, someone will come in there and piss on your product, they'll shit on your product. That's why you don't do things for free. But, you know, when you pay for something, you value that thing. You value that thing. You don't shit on it. You respect it. You actually showing like some kind of an effort, you know? So, you know, that's the reason why people charge so much for things sometimes. Because you start to attract these kind of people with that same mentality of like pointing fingers and playing a victim. You know, because they're just all used to getting things for free. The name of your journaling sheet, you can download it in the description box. AAD, nice to see you here. Yeah, gold is still wanting to move up here. I think it just had like some kind of a retracement. Some kind of a retracement in here. But it wants to move up. It still wants to move up. Remember, trend is your friend until it bends. Still creating all-time highs. Got a nice little kiss of death over here as well. Beautiful kiss of death. Come on, Goldie, let's go. $40.50 next. What do you guys reckon for this hourly candlestick? Let's see where this hourly candlestick can head up towards. So you're saying 40.50? Ooh, 40.50. That's an ambitious target there. We haven't had a candle do that much pippage. yet. For at least for the hourly candle. Oh, actually, we had one that happened at this was like early Asia session. Say 40.50. It's a pretty nice rounded off number there, 40.50. I think we can easily blast through 40.40, of course. Yeah, I think that's gonna be the target then. It's got accumulation. It's definitely built up enough orders here to start distributing soon. It's generating momentum. It's inducing more market participants to get into a buy over here. Need to crack this 40.40 level and then keep moving up. Got an inducement here, you know. Because, you know, most of the time when you're going to see a big move, it's going to come out of a time in the market where markets did nothing. You know, where markets did nothing, and then you're going to see like a big move come out of that. So currently right now, we definitely are at a point A in the market waiting on that distribution. So we're going to see like a point B come out of this soon. Continue moving up bullish. Why are you running? Don't think the big holders will ever cash out of gold. No. Gold is a wealth preservation asset, you know. So these big holders, man, they got like piles of gold reserves. You know, they're gonna hold their gold. No one is selling their gold. You know, that's the whole idea behind buying gold. You know, you're gonna buy gold in kilos and you're gonna keep it there for generational wealth. You know, so nobody's selling gold. We're just holding it. So it's always gonna go up. Price of gold because of the demand and the demand is just gonna keep going up. You know, most of the time that's what you're gonna end up holding it. Let's say like, you know, some kind of safety deposit box would be gold, maybe some diamonds, you know, some gold watches. So people hold gold, true and dear. So yeah, I think so. Don't forget to drink water, sir. Thank you. Yeah, so much liquidity here today on gold that I'm not even thirsty. Like we're swimming in liquidity right now. Just waiting on the big move to come out soon. It's on a little break and retest over here. Just a little bit choppy, but there's definitely volume. It's a safe haven. Yeah, exactly. It's a safe haven. Whole world is holding gold without actually buying it, like traders. Yeah, gold is being bought every day, you know, like people buying these watches and all of these things. Like gold, you gotta find gold in I think even like your phone. Your phone has maybe a bit of gold inside of it. There are these companies which actually make a lot of money recycling electronics, and they're gonna get like every day like a certain amount of gold out of recycling electronics. You know, your dentists use gold when you want to put a filling in your mouth, like one that's gonna last you forever. You know, dentists use gold. Like everybody uses gold somehow. Someone's getting married off in India right now, so you know, buying a shit ton of gold. People are smuggling gold, looking for mines. As I said, like one of my friends is he mines gold for a living. He doesn't mine it himself, but he's kind of like a manager of sort. But his job is basically to find gold in African countries. Man, so gold, super lucrative, safe haven. That's why I love trading gold, and it's less manipulated. It's less manipulated like GJ. You know, whenever you hear these gold scandals of, oh, you know, some governments are not benefiting off of these gold miners because the money goes out of the country, that doesn't affect gold. Like these internal politics, they don't really affect gold. The only thing which affects gold is anything to do with US dollar weakness. Not the internal politics, but more to do with like anything that can really weaken the dollar, like interest rates or potential trade wars. So dollar goes down, then gold goes up. That's the only thing that you have to look out for. But I think with like these other currencies, for me personally, I feel they're a little bit more like something like the Euro US dollar, right? It gives you zero spreads, but it's very choppy and there's always some kind of, I always felt, at least in my opinion, I feel like there's a lot more internal politics which affect it. Because I remember when trading GJ, we had Boris Johnson and we had the fisheries thing going on, and you know, those were all kind of like these internal politics which are making the pound fluctuate quite a lot, and I did enjoy it. But when it comes to like gold, man, it's pretty clean cut. Like if you've been watching this stream for the past like quarter, we've literally been saying the same thing every single day. Like every single day when it comes to the fundamentals, like basically there's just been a handful of things that we've just been focusing on, and that's just been pushing the price of gold the whole year. You know, it's pretty clean cut. And I think that's why also people love dealing with gold in the real world as well. When you deal with physical gold, pretty clean cut. You know, you measure it. This is how much a troy ounce is. You get paid a certain amount. Like even now, recently, there was a new bill that was passed, I think, where they're allowing dealers to sell gold more at the price of gold. So if we're selling it like 40.38, the spread is a little bit more managed now. Because before it's like if you want to sell gold at 40.38, because of the spread was like really big. Correct? So you could only sell it maybe for less than that, right? But I think there's a new law that happened now that gold can be sold more at the actual price. Let me see if I can pull that up for you on Google. So it's really nice to deal with it. Selling gold spread. Yeah, you see this? So yes, gold can now be sold at its current market price, which as of October 7th, 2025. So this, whoa, this was what, yesterday? Which is October 7th? Because I was reading about this. Damn, this is that as recent as yesterday. Oh, no, my bad. Okay, so that's an update of the price. Holy, I was like, what the hell? I know this was recent. This was in 2025. That something changed here with the way people deal with gold. Price fluctuates constantly, so expect prices will get da. Use buyers offers, make profit. I don't know if I'm gonna find that article here right off the bat. I took a break from trading for a few years due to personal reasons. I feel I am rusty now. Can you help me get back into it? Yeah, all you gotta do is tune into the stream. Tune into the stream, I think, is the best way that you can get back into trading. Because we're gonna keep you updated with what currently the market's doing. It's always a bit weird. You know, take a week break off of trading. You always feel a bit rusty when you come back into it. It's quite normal. That's why I don't like giving myself too much of a break. I always like to look at the chart, you know, even once at the end of the day. If I can just, even if I'm on a vacation, if I can just look at the chart even once at the end of the day, I can be like, okay, you know, gold moved up 4K. All right, nice. Look back at it tomorrow. Okay, you see we're up here by like 4,100. You know, it kind of helps you stay psychologically tethered to the instrument, you know. So I think that kind of helps you when you get back into it. But when you just completely stop looking at it, it's definitely like very awkward coming back in for a couple of days. But you gotta quickly get your hang in there by like the third day. If you got like a system in place that you're used to like doing over and over and over again. Usually for me, I think it takes like about, maybe by the third day, I'll be pretty good again. Tetra, my wedding is next month. I'm inviting you to Nigeria for my wedding. I will take care of your logistics and hospitality. And thank you, Joel. Nigeria is got I got some what do you call them, family friends who lived in Nigeria for some time in Abuja. But thank you for the invite. What a funky Asia session. Yeah, Asia session has just been skyrocketing here. And the London, it's like it gave us one push, but the London session is, you can see it's accumulating over here. It's accumulating. It's trying to break out. It's doing like a small little break and retest. It's trying to push up, take out these all-time highs. Because people are still trying to sell gold right now. You know, very risky. Very risky when it's still moving up like this. Thank you for the invite, but I'm not coming, huh? That would be awesome. A Nigerian wedding, huh? Let's Google that. Let me see how a Nigerian wedding looks like. You know, it's a thought that counts, architect. It's a thought that counts. Nice little swagged out here. Yeah, this is where they get their, you know, when Americans look at a, you know, when they create stuff like Black Panther and that sort of thing, I think they get the African Americans, they get the inspiration from Nigerian attire, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go. Yeah, they say if you get a Nigerian as your friend, they're gonna be, you know, a very good friend to you. But you don't want to have a Nigerian as your enemy because they're gonna be your worst enemy. Have you seen the Sora 2 AI videos? Yeah, AI is getting better like literally every day. Taking over certain jobs there. Like a website designs, like graphics design. Man, my brother was telling me about you know, because it's in graphics design now, that even with a AI on Google Maps, there's some kind of a AI which can, let's say if there's a building, right? If there's a building, the AI is getting better at kind of mapping. I don't know what he was explaining to me exactly, but you can map certain flight paths for your drone to follow, so you can get the exact shots that you want when it comes to now designing the building. You know, when you start to do the graphics design and whatnot. So like AI is just insane. And like rendering, and you know, let's say if you want to put like some kind of a design, the AI can do it immediately. But traditionally, you'd have to wait ages for the computer to render all that detail. So AI is so awesome. You know, that's why NVIDIA is going up so much right now. NVIDIA, the technology company is just skyrocketing. Let's actually see where NVIDIA is. NVDA. Oh, we're not yet hit 200 bucks, but we're trading at like 185. We peaked here like 190. Tesla was also doing pretty good recently. Tesla was just short of 500. Yeah, short of 500. Got a really nice push recently over here. Don't know what Elon Musk did, but we got a really nice push. But it's still short of 500. You see, something like Tesla has a lot of leg room to keep going up. Yo, I'm Nigerian, Vic. Hey, nice. Obadea. Gebenga. I love these. You know what cracks me up? There's this guy I've been watching like on TikTok. He goes around like in the UK and he's Nigerian and he finds these Nigerian communities and he has like a smoke. He has a smoke thing and he's saying things like, "I've been sent to destroy you." And then he starts like chanting something in Nigerian. And it's so funny to see like people actually like start running away and like actually falling on the street, like superstitious. You're like very superstitious. What's your name? What is your name? I've been sent to destroy you. Yeah, but look at this price. Tesla, I think we can be cracking 500 soon. Crack 500 and then, you know, we can keep going up there. This is something I think in the next 10 years, we're going to be talking about Tesla and it's going to be, you know, this thing is going to be all the way up over here for sure. It's still going to be moving up. It's still in the inception. If you think about like a point A, this is a massive point A right over here. Massive point A, you know, it's just waiting to distribute. So Tesla is still a young stock. DJ is on its way up right now. So gold's probably trying to do some liquidity grabs over here on the 5-minute. You can see it just came down heavy, trying to pull out some orders so it can continue moving up bullish. Yeah, you saw that. Yeah, Mr. Rashid, that guy's funny. It's like, it looks real. I don't think those are paid actors, but it's so interesting to see that psychology of superstition, you know? It doesn't seem like they're paid. It seems like genuine reactions. Somebody just walks up to you and then starts doing that and you run away. Because in the Western world, like, people would just be like, who is this crazy guy? Like, leave me alone. But these Nigerian guys are like running for their lives. Yeah, superstitions are very interesting, you know. I try to remove as much superstition in my life as possible, especially when it revolves around like trading. I feel like people have a lot of these superstitions in trading, where it's like, oh, you know, I can't trade a Monday. Mondays are like bad juju days. You know, maybe Tuesday I feel a bit better on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Maybe Friday is not so much on a Friday because of like some kind of a superstition, you know. Maybe unlucky numbers. Maybe, you know, gold is trading at an unlucky number. You don't want to take a trade. I try to remove all of that stuff. Just focus on just the charts. Because in the beginning, it's very easy for us to be superstitious, right? So let's say if we have like unemployment claims or NFP or something coming out later during the day, and we start to feel like a bit like, okay, so, you know, price does get affected because it would anticipate those events later on. But it just depends on how you approach it. Whether it's just because it's a red folder day, you're going to say to yourself, I'm not going to trade red folder days. That used to happen to me quite a bit because I also didn't understand, like, most days there's going to be something standing in your way of trading. So we'd say like, okay, we got a red folder over here, FOMC meeting minutes. I would say I'm not trading today. So I'll be superstitious because we got a red folder. But then what I would end up seeing was, if I just traded that day, I could have had a good trade. And then on the days where it's like more clear, the market maybe doesn't give me a good trade. Maybe it even consolidates on the day it's more clear. Let's see. For me, it's like when I start the day, I punch in a 0.01 with 10 pips target and won't take a trade unless this is closed. Won't even analyze. Man, interesting. So it's like you're kind of warming up the account over there. Yeah, you kind of warm up the account, right? Put in a 0.0. I'm sure people do that, chat. I'm pretty sure people do that. But like a small little 0.01 just to, like, you know, dip their toes in the water and just get a bit ready for it. Ready for the day. Because, you know, if you lose a 0.01, it's not the end of the world. You know, wait, let me see. I used to think market knew exactly when I placed the trade. At the moment, would go opposite to what I placed. Oh, yeah. No, the market does that. It does that. You know, the reason why we all feel this way is because the market doesn't necessarily move like in a straight line. So we always feel like, how is it possible that it triggers you, it's stop loss, and then it goes into profit, or you know, slightly comes to your entry and then it like reverses like this and stuff like that. It's like I've come to the conclusion that the reason these are happening, and we all experience it, depending, even doesn't matter what you trade, what system you trade, but you're all going to experience it, is because the market obviously doesn't move in a straight line. It's fluctuating a lot, and there's a higher time frames and lower time frames, and candlesticks are just, you know, moving like this consistently. Like this is just what the market is doing. So eventually in all of that movement, so there's a higher time frame candlestick just doing this, right? The hourly does all of this before it closes, but it creates a lot of structure in between, right? You're definitely gonna have people who are experiencing a similar thing like that happening to them. Like for me, it was crazy because like yesterday, if you look at the trade that I took yesterday, I also like made a recording of this trade. But thank you everybody. Thank you to all the 2 people who liked that video. Awesome engagement over there. But we have a, what is this? Oh, we got 6 people. Nice. Man, don't go too crazy on me now, chat. Don't go too crazy on me. But we have this trade. It makes you feel like the market is somehow watching you. Look at how close this got to hitting my TP. And then it just came all the way back up. And then look at this. It came back down again. It came back down again. It actually hit it. It pushed through it a bit more. There you see, it pushed through it a bit more here. I still hadn't closed because I thought it was gonna, you see, push through a bit more. And then it started to pull up again. It's like, what is that? What's happening over there? And then it pulls up again. It just plays like all these mind games with you. Yeah, it plays all these mind games with you. And then it pulled up again, and then look at this shit. Then it came back down for the 3rd time, and I finally closed. But if I even decided to hold just a bit longer to even break that wick, even if I decided to break that wick, then it would be like a losing trade. So I just closed out, and then look, all of a sudden, then it just starts skyrocketing up again. And then you wonder like, why is that happening? You know, and that's why for me, usually when I'm looking at these scalp trades, I always put like 16 pips. Because I've noticed if something like that's going to happen, it's going to happen at 16 pips. In the beginning of the year, it was like 18 pips. And then I started seeing it's happening a bit less pips. Then I said, okay, you know, it's 16 pips. I'm starting to notice something like this happening a little bit more. So, you know, sometimes you also got to like adapt to the market because like certain things slightly change. And trust me, if you pick up on it sooner, for the rest of the year, it's going to be smooth sailing. But, you know, I think that didn't even matter anymore for me because like gold had so much volume in it. Like it just kept blasting through 16 pips anyway now. But it's still better to be safe and not be super greedy. It's always good to under-analyze rather than like over-analyze. It's like when you set up buy stop or a sell and it flashes but does not trigger. Oh man, that's the worst. That is the worst. Yeah, when it's flashing and you're just about to get triggered but it doesn't trigger you in, and you're like, shit. That's why I market execute as well. I just market execute all my orders. Yeah, that's the most anxiety driving thing, especially when you have this kind of like a perfect analysis, you know, perfect analysis. And it's, you can see it's going through the position, but it's not triggering you in. But if that was a stop loss, the broker would close that trade. Well, because you want to get in and it's probably a good probability trade, it's going to give you like a harder time. Then you start thinking things like that, you know? If that was a stop loss, the broker will push it an extra 5 pips. Oh, I'm just joking. Why is London recently always a mess? Look at Asia. Close above resistance, push, close above resistance, push. Yeah, exactly. Asia has been really nice. Asia is the time, you know, like when they say the early bird catches the worm. That's what Asia is. Because you think like rich people are gonna care about your schedule. Man, if price is moving up, they're gonna be at 1 in the morning looking for buys on gold. They're not gonna wait. This is not a 9 to 5. They don't have to show up at work at London Open. trying to make money in the market. It's quite a highly competitive area, highly competitive environment. They're gonna wake up early. They're gonna start keying in their positions early. Early bird catches the worm. That's why I kind of like the Asia quite a lot. Asia pre-London. London's pretty good. We can always catch a push in London, but most of the time I'm expecting something more like this during the London. Like we can get a couple pushes, but consolidate until pre-NY, because most of the fun already happened during Asia and pre-London. So the rest of it is like what's kind of left over here. And then the volume is picking up again during the New York session open for the rest of the day. What's the name of the music in the background? This from YouTube library. It's music from the YouTube library. The Asian bird catches the worm. But I see good engagement on this video over here. I'll probably try and make you more of these videos from time to time. Like more breakdown videos. From time to time. There's only so much learning you can do. At some point, you have to stop learning, right? You can't learn your whole life how to trade. At some point, you have to actually be a little bit more practical. Because you can have hours and hours and hours of education, but without that practicality, then you can't really learn how to trade, correct? You can't learn about riding a bike or swimming in the ocean if you're just reading books about it all the time. You just gotta jump in. Jump in and just start really trying to nail down the concepts and trying to get better, and not being afraid of failure. I think failure is a beautiful part of the process. See how like Zoom failed yesterday? Look at this. Look what happened over here. Now at least we have potential of 4K streaming at 60 FPS. If you're not on Discord Nitro, I think it's 1080p at 60. But you see this? Man, out of that failure of Zoom, we've achieved something greater. So everything is like a stepping stone. So you mustn't be afraid of failure. It's usually the universe trying to direct you back on a path, because what got you here is not going to get you there. So, you're always going to think about it like that. You got to think about business like that. If you get too comfortable, it's not good to be comfortable. Don't get too comfortable, because what got you here is not going to get you to that next level. So embrace uncomfortability and find ways to thrive in that. Always look at challenges as an opportunity to get better. But you can only do that when you're actually trying. If you don't try, then you can't complain about the results you don't have by the work that you haven't put in. You can't blame anyone for that. So fail like you're getting paid to fail. It's just attempting to re-break these highs here by 40-40. We got to get through the psychological mark. Come on, Goldie, skyrocket now. You know Lorenzo? Yeah, I know him. Come on, flat Goldie. Central banks buying gold. could continue for 3 to 5 more years. Holy. 3 to 5 more years, chat. Are we ready for another 3 to 5 more years of this bull run? I know I am. 3 to 5 more years of this? Yes, please. And don't worry, if you're still learning how to trade, don't worry. I started learning how to trade during COVID. Man, during COVID, that's when I was watching all these people make so much money on social media. I was like, damn, I'm not even profitable yet. I'm wasting time. But you know, just start now. This is the best time to start. The best time to start was yesterday, actually. But you know, it's like you're going to have your own time where you're going to like experience amazing market conditions. And these are also still amazing market conditions to learn how to trade because there's volume. There's price action, price is moving, it's not consolidating. So you can actually get a better feel of the ebbs and flows of the market. So I think that's just how you just have to think about it. There's always going to be something. Man, next year, there's going to be something else. Next year is probably going to be, again, the same stories. Something new. And hopefully by next year that you're going to be profitable and you're going to be able to, like for some of you, I know a lot of you are profitable, but for some of you, you're going to have that opportunity to leverage off of all that volume. Yeah, best time was yesterday, but the second best time is now. Yes. Don't feel like you're missing out. Remember, FOMO doesn't exist. The market's going to be here. You haven't missed out on nothing. You're going to look at the indexes and see how high they're up right now, but trust me, they can go a lot higher than they are. You haven't missed out on anything. Just, you know, trust your journey, trust your process. Don't rush anything. Don't let anybody rush your process. That's one thing I can tell you. You know, take your time. Take your time. You don't want anybody else's time. You know, take your time. Don't get influenced by these people. Don't compare yourself with people who already been doing it for like even 10, 15 years. You know, it's not fair. You're not being fair to yourself. When you try and look at these people and you're like, man, I wish I was profitable, but they've been doing it for way longer. You know, so how are you going to compete? That's the question that I hate, is like, how long did it take you to become profitable? You can't compare how long it took me to how long it's going to take you. Because you have at your disposal all of these tools that are going to help you get there faster than it did help me to get there too. Because I need to figure it out of myself. You know, so if I was watching me when I started trading, I think I would have gotten there a lot faster. The sad part is that one of the reasons that I think gold will keep going is the world is getting worse, not better. More wars, and at least Europe is getting worse by the day. Yeah, the world is obviously always gonna have this these issues. Yeah, I don't think you're gonna remove those issues completely. So gold definitely is gonna go up. It's just gonna keep going up. We're always gonna find a reason, you know. Maybe when all the oil dries up and we can't go to war anymore, we're gonna create a new enemy. We're gonna say, oh, hey guys, did you know aliens exist? Yeah, and they're coming here to take your houses and take all your stuff. So we gotta fund this war. We gotta fund the space war now. There's always gonna be a reason, right? Because that's how the economy is. That's how it's structured. It can't operate without those reasons, unfortunately. So when you start to learn about trading, you kind of look at it you start looking at society in a very different light. You know, you start to see the world for what it actually is. In as objective way as possible. When you truly understand the way the economy operates. Might even become a conspiracy theorist. Please send... Oh, no, we don't do donations here, so we can't send you money to fund your gambling habits, sir. Sorry about that. It's not possible. After 18 years of trading, this is one of the hardest scenarios for me. What's going on here? Just to get cocky and win all longs on gold. Eventually, this will stop. Oh, what are you saying? Like, this is the hardest condition for you. That price is moving up so much. This is one of the hardest scenarios. Really? Man, this should be easy scenario for most people. Because if it's moving up, it's not moving up on accident. You know, it doesn't move up on accident. There's a lot of conviction here that price is moving up. So it should actually make your job easier. But, you know, when you're trying to do the opposite of what the market's doing, then yeah, I think that's when you start to realize that's the nature of the strategy, that what it is that you're trading. And that's all it is now. You know, maybe you got some opportunity now to look at how to improve your strategy during a condition like this. Maybe it means not to trade at all. Maybe it means not, because I've been in that situation myself, you know, when Trump was president and I was so used to gold giving me, you know, 16 pips stop loss, 10 pips stop loss. Remember how many moves we missed just because of how big the stop loss was? And I didn't have an option unless I adapted my strategy. So I was like, okay, you know what? Since there's so much volume, there's no way I'm going to be like always getting pretty good stops. So let me adapt myself to the market environment, you know? Let me adapt myself. And then I adapted and I was able to now start catching these more bigger moves. So that's all it is. It's all about adapting, right? Just be flexible. Be flexible because it's a business. You know what you are, right? Wait, let me see. TetraFX, yeah, but I've had my confidence shaken once in a while and got whacked for a shitload of money. Oh, you got to be careful because, you know, like what essentially you are right now is we can compare you to like a taxi driver in a country which is now Uber has come in, you know, because now people are not going to use traditional taxis, right? They're going to be like, why do I need a traditional taxi? I can get an Uber in my house on my doorstep right now, have everything organized like within minutes. Why should I go find a taxi guy and pay him more money? You know, but there are those taxi guys who are like, no, I don't want to adapt. I don't like Uber. We should get Uber out of this country because they're ruining the taxi business. We're getting paid less now because of Uber, etc., etc. But Uber's not going anywhere. They're there to stay. So, you know, you're going to choose whether you just want to be complaining all the time or how can you adapt and take advantage of this new shift in the market environment. You know, that's the whole thing like any business has to do. You know, no business is going to necessarily stay the same forever. Whenever there's a new change, you always got to adapt. Always got to adapt and just get good with going with the punches of sorts. You know, so if you can't do that, then man, you're gonna have a hard time here. I've seen traders complain so much that they haven't even had a trade in weeks because of the way the market is moving. And then, you know, that shakes them up. That shakes up their confidence. You know, they're performing so well before, but now their confidence getting a hit. And they're like, man, do I really know what I'm doing? I've been trading this system for like 2 years. And now here on the third year, I'm like losing money. I'm getting losing months. Do I know what I'm doing? Those are the intrusive thoughts which start coming into your head. You know, and then you get this imposter syndrome. And you're like, damn, have I just been getting lucky this whole time? Like, you know, what's going on here? It's because you haven't understood that adapting is part of the equation. It's part of trading. But a lot of people, they just like the cookie cutter thing, right? 1 + 1 = 2 for the rest of time, for infinity. But it doesn't work like that. Sometimes you're going to need to adjust your stop loss a little bit more. Maybe cater to what the market's doing. If it's trending a lot more, you can hold your trends longer. If it's not trending as much, you're going to scalp your trades more. And it doesn't mean you have to reinvent the wheel. All you just have to do is tweak just a small little thing. That's all it is. You know, if you're a taxi guy, it doesn't mean you got to sell your car now. You know, you just got to tweak the thing. You just got to apply now on the app and then still drive your same car and just, you know, a small tweak. The car's still your strategy, but it's that little tweak that's going to help you get on the other end. But if you can't adapt, you're going to fight always. Always. So the moment you got a challenge, you see even like with Zoom yesterday. With Zoom yesterday, we had a problem with Zoom. Quickly adapted. I said, okay, we gotta figure this problem because this problem is not going anywhere. So quickly adapted, and then now look, life is easy again. Life is easy again. It's gonna remain easy until the next challenge comes. Maybe something else is gonna show up. Then we'll quickly adapt again. You know, it's the same thing in the market. The moment you start to see your account bleeding like this, let's say if it starts to bleed like this, you have to quickly adapt and like fix that problem. You know, because you don't want to deal with it. You don't want it to cause damage before you actually fix the problem, correct? So that's my mental model towards life. I never play the victim. If there's a challenge, we got to see and figure it out. Like what are we going to do about this challenge? What opportunity do we have now for this challenge? BTC on the climb again. Morning chaps and chaplets. Chapties. Ooh, like this is driving so much anxiety in price right now because we're just at the all-time highs and gold is trying to break out. We just got a new hourly candlestick as well, but it's losing momentum. Well, it looks like it, but given the nature of gold, I wouldn't be surprised to see another candlestick skyrocket. But just given the nature of candles and how candles typically lose when they're losing momentum, look, when they're losing momentum, we're starting to get this. Like wicks, you see how these wicks here are forming like this? It's not really a good sign. Because they try to grab some orders here. You see, it's trying to generate liquidity so it can stop pushing back above. But it's still struggling here. I think the buyers are getting a bit angsty. Until we can get some more. But you see, it's trying to push up. Look at this other liquidity grab it just did over here too. It's trying to push up. It's got to break these highs again. Try and break them properly with volume. Right back, chat. Remember, drink more liquidity, chat. All right, so we got price coming up here again. It's gonna try and break all-time highs. Can we get this new hourly candlestick to move up here? Look at it, it's coming up. It's coming up. We're about to be the highest point gold has ever been in all of mankind history. In just about 7.8 pips. Coming to you live. What a time to be alive. I managed to catch a long trade when it dipped to 40.33. Nice. 40.33. Ooh, what an entry. What a beautiful entry. How about like 60 pips? What are you going to do here? You're sitting pretty. You should secure like some profits and let the rest run. If you can break those all-time highs, you can expect a really good push over here. What do we got over here? Head and shoulders. You got to sell. Entry I wanted was here, but got slipped to move fast. Add a reversal confirmation here, so semi TP. See, head and shoulders consolidation plus shotgun 5 minute. Oh yeah, I see it. All right. The accumulation break. Definitely risky here. The all-time highs. This price is moving up. Confidence, SMA 8, and need of liquidity, gold to keep moving up. Yeah, see, got it having some fun, late entry. Yeah, it's chopping up right now. It's definitely like whipping a lot of people here. The people still trying to get the push. Sitting ducks. Got some sitting duckies here. Moment you see this, you gotta stay away from the market. When you see generation of wicks like this, this is really building character for a lot of people in here. Because people try and force these trades, the forces, ranges, they get too greedy as well. So they have like profitable trades becoming losing trades. You see there's a big difference, right? There's a big difference to how this PA here looks compared to, for example, how the PA looked like when we caught our trade. It was moving a lot more smoothly. There are not a lot of wicks at all, really. And it was a lot more clean than what you're dealing with here. So you see the market conditions kind of shifted. And that's mainly due to the fact that we've already been pushing up a lot. We're up 1.30%. So it definitely needs to take like a small break. a breather before moving up again. Most of the time, I'm expecting like a break from this area to actually happen on that next hourly candle. That's 6 a.m. Eastern, right? See all the hourlies as well. See how that wicks, those wicks are building as we mentioned about. So just trade with caution. Gotta protect your money. You gotta hold on to that. Hold on to that. Those profitable trades. Like you gotta make a very difficult day for the market to not take back your profits. That's the whole idea. If you have successfully taken something out of the market, you do not want to go back and fight it immediately. You know, let it do its thing. Let it do its thing. You're gonna come back later. Keep whatever profit you made. Trust me, FOMO doesn't exist. Even if it pushes up over here and you're not trading, that's totally okay. You might get a buy-in even on a retracement. Your price might shoot up, and then you might even get a buy again on a retracement to move back up again. Let me see. There was wicks on the replay too, but you mean both bearish and bullish wicks now? And for before mostly or only bullish wicks? Yeah, it's like obviously like if you look at the anatomy of a candle, you're gonna have the candle body and the wicks, right? So all candles are gonna have like a body and wicks. Okay, this is a high, that's a low, and that's a range that it's straight in between. All right, this is a range in between here. So what I'm talking about mainly is just notice it's more to do with, you know, your analytical part of the brain is thinking right now. It's doing a lot of the work. So you're trying to make sense of something. You know, you're trying to make sense. So your analytical brain is starting to overcomplicate. So just use a bit of that creative brain here now. And by what I mean is, and this is something we do a lot of the time, right? Our analytical part of the brain always wants to kick in and say, oh, but you know, really it's not like that, or maybe it's like this. So, you know, we start to overcomplicate things. You know, so let's just say in a simplest fashion, price was moving up. We can see price moving up over here. Correct? These are beautiful candlestick bodies. Like you can see candle body, small wicks, pretty decent candlestick bodies. And then definitely it's going to have wicks, but smaller wicks. Or not necessarily smaller wicks, but just look at the way the flow of orders are. You know, it's moving. Little V shape here. Little V shape here. It's like a nice little Bob Ross painting, you know, like nice little brush strokes. It's moving, but you see this now. It's getting kind of grainy now. You know, get that creative part of your brain working here. You see, now it's getting kind of grainy, and you don't like that graininess. It's like sandpaper now. So that's the difference. That's what I mean. Because the creative part of your brain is going to be able to do a lot more in terms of capacity than the analytical part of your brain. The creative part of your brain has a lot more capacity. Analytical part is, you know, you're getting like very nitty-gritty about things. You know, when you get too nitty-gritty about things, the unfortunate thing is the market's not perfect, right? So these perfect patterns and whatnot that you're looking for, you're not going to find them. Because you're being too like specific there. Morning, brother. Have you taken an entry? Yes, but not at the all-time highs. We took an entry to the all-time highs, but there's the next entry I think is going to come in if price starts to break above those highs. That's when we should expect some volume again. Thanks for the explanation. Welcome, welcome. Yes, you gotta wait. You gotta sit on your hands now. This thing could also just come tumbling down for the pre-London if it starts to shift direction, because we've already been bullish the whole day. Maybe have a session where it pulls down. I got some pretty big rejection wicks to the downside though. So that's not going to be fun trading into that too. This is an accumulation break for wick fill. But it's not too fun, like just structurally speaking. It's not as fun as something like this. You know, when you take a buy like this and then price moves up in that range, it's not more nicer than this. It's selling into a rejection wick, anticipating it to wick fill. Got like another support over here. Starting to struggle. You see the sellers really coming in. Could be creating a false move for the buyers to push in at any point though. It's just we just don't know until the market actually does something. Looks like a support that's been formed if you invert the scale. Is that rejecting 40-40? Sometimes it's easier to see the inverted scale. Or like what, a countered move? Yeah, look at this. Oh, that volume coming down like this. And starting to roll over here. Maybe it's doing like a reversal, accumulation over here. Look. Broke below that support. It's inverted. Resistance. Small little accumulation. Potential reversal. Might even start forming a inverted head and shoulders there. Like this. Because then you got left shoulder, head, and right shoulder to move up. But yeah, of course, in this case, down. Is gold moving like this because of the shutdown? Yeah, so many reasons that gold is moving like this. You should watch the beginning of the stream. We covered like all 8 reasons, 7 to 8 reasons why gold is moving up bullish. I don't know what's happening in France though. I didn't really look into that. Political shakeups in France. And you see in Japan. So you see also with GJ moving up. So there's something happening with the Japanese economy that's making the pound move up as well. Because, you know, we got a huge push on that market open. I'm just not following the fundamentals of GJ. There's political shakeups in France though. What's Macron doing? Political shake-ups in France. Why Macron's meltdown weakens Europe? Does this guy have a crash? Did he crash out? What's this? 1 day ago, Macron runs out of options. Current election trend for France. So I always tell you guys, focus on yourselves, focus on your family, focus on getting better every day. Put all your focus on first taking care of yourself and those loved ones around you, because trust me, like all of this just distraction. All this does distraction, like all these political games, and you know, you think these politicians going against each other, but they're eating at the same table as well. You know, just focus. I think that's the best advice that I ever got, and it's just been to focus on myself. Don't get too caught up in these politics. Don't get too caught up in these, like if you're into sports and stuff, you know, awesome, but don't get too caught up in all of this kind of like, you know, this kind of like entertainment, this kind of like, I think that's what I can call it, like entertainment. Just focus on yourself. Every day, 1% better. Be healthy, eat healthy, work hard, be honest. All this just like noise, right? Especially if you're not planning on doing anything about it. It's just noise. Like, why sit with someone for hours arguing about such things? You know, when you can be building businesses together, you can be talking about, you know, what's getting better for you. What have you improved in the last quarter? You know, what are you planning on doing for the next quarter to get even better? These are the conversations we should be having with our friends. Not about, oh, political debate, this and that, and then you go home and do fuck all. It doesn't help anybody. Because trust me, like this compounded effect of just getting 1% better, just something so small you can change every single day, at the end of the year, it creates like a huge difference for yourself. Is there FOMC today or cancelled due to shutdown? I have no idea. You know me, I'm showing up here on the charts. Again, just like a lot of people also get caught up in this government shutdown thing. It's like if the markets are moving, they're moving, right? They're moving. So, you know, government shutdown, I'm not even feeling any government shutdown, to be honest. I don't know if you guys are feeling government shutdown. I'm not really feeling any government shutdown. Like price is moving here on gold. I think, let's see what the DXY is doing. As far as I'm concerned, the government might not even be shut down because it's not because of the government shutdown. Price is moving up, right? We've been seeing price move up the whole year. The government shutdown was just like an additional kind of like sprinkles. Yeah, I think, man, look at this. Price is moving up here on the monthly on the DXY. It's getting a little bit of strength. So where's government shutdown? This thing is starting to move up here. Why is the dollar index generating strength on the weekly? Look at the size of this weekly candlestick here. You see, that's what I meant. Like, that's all distractions. You know, you're focusing on these headlines and everything. It's all distractions. You know, just look at the skill. Look at the skill you're crafting for yourself. And then, like, also make your own opinion about what the market is doing. Price is moving up on government shutdown on the week. Because you know what they do? They point so you can look there, and then they're gonna distract you so they can do something else most of the time. So you have to be able to think for yourself. And the good thing about trading is, you see it on the charts, right? You can't hide it. You see it on the charts. Like, remember since like FOMC came in and Jerome Powell here spoke all the way down over here. This was on a Friday, 22nd of August. He spoke, and then you can't hide it on the charts. Then prices are moving up like this. Because now we finally got the direction. This was the day that we got direction from Powell of the interest rate decisions. This is when he spoke about the rate cuts, right? And then you see they can't hide it. They can't hide it. You see the orders coming in. You see how price starts to move like this. That's one thing I love about trading. You can't hide it. It's all in the charts. So even with government shutdown, price on gold is still moving up. And at the same time, the dollar index is moving up. So what does that mean? Negative correlation is not working. But you see, negative correlation is a huge hit and miss. CTO data, negative correlation, like these things, I think they're good to know, but it's like if you're not utilizing them if you're not using them just as like a confluence for what's happening currently in the market and how structure is printing, then it's quite useless. They're big hits and misses. Let's see CSM over here. You see major dollar strength. Full bars on the dollar. Why is gold moving up? It's 1.30% right now. And the dollar is also strong. They're both like full bars. So don't trade what you feel. Trade what you see. What do you see the market doing? Do the headlines line up with what the market's doing? If it doesn't line up, don't fight it. Don't fight it. You know what happened over here? Let me show you guys what happened over here. This was when the war was picking up. Remember when the war in Israel and Iran was increasing? Like when it's increasing, what did the market do? The market did the opposite. And we were all wondering, why is gold moving down when we're having geopolitical uncertainty? But you see, we're not going to fight that idea. So if price moves down, you're going to adapt to the market and you're going to take your sells with the market, right? It's simple. Don't get too caught up in the headlines. Just use them as a confluence. So if it lines up, beautiful. If it doesn't line up and the market is doing something different, there might be something that you don't know, right? So you might just want to go with the flow. It moves down, it moves down. Because I remember this is a very confusing time for a lot of us. Like we're having a lot of uncertainty in the market. The war is really escalating at this point, and price was doing the opposite. And like, what the hell is going on here? Can you write your high time frame time candle indicator name or link, please? Your high time candle indicator. What is that? High time. This is just a time frame. This is a daily candle. Oh, or what are you asking? It looks like, look at the price action and react to it. That's it. Yes, sir. Oh, okay, my bad. This was a response to, okay. No, distribution there on the 1 minute. It's the only thing that's currently happening. It's like a small little wick fill from this area over here. It's so volatile. Like the whole market structure here is just completely shifted. Hard day's done. What do I think about this? Oh, I think like stop loss looks valid. Yeah, the stop loss looks valid. Like surely, like for price to move up, it shouldn't break below those lows, correct? I probably even put it below this low, right over here. Might as well. It's a few pips away. It's a lot safer because you have clean range on the left hand side. So if price breaks below that support, you got clean range, and then price can keep coming down. So that would be a safer bet. I like what you're doing here with the Fibonacci. All right, so you got 50, 65. Careful, you know, you got pretty big stop loss over there. So that 50 could be a lot of pips. But like 50 could be like a lot of pips. So if you see price move in a certain way that's pushing with volume, you know, that stop loss to break even, you can be a bit more based off of the way price behaves. You can even put a stop to break even like sooner, because there's certain ways like breakouts behave that they really should not be coming back into your entries. Look at this thing, it's coming down here. Yeah, that's why I saw like they got some sitting ducks in this consolidation here, because price already moved up, right? So we're gonna need to see this thing give us a commitment of 100% that it wants to keep pushing bullish. But yeah, stop losses here is still valid, but you know, be careful, because what we tend to see with sessions is like the sessions can operate differently, right? Asia bullish, okay, perfect. London session, small push but consolidated. for the most part. Maybe for pre-NY into NY, we saw getting pullbacks and then bullish continuation for the New York. Oh, it's coming down. It's coming down for you. It's coming down for you. Oh no. You know what? You can look at this as a trade. You see, now you should be getting stopped out. You see, what you're going to do is you're going to look at this trade and say, what could I have done differently? So because you're watching this stream and you have some advice here, what I'm going to tell you is that timing aspect is one of the most important things, right? This timing, like we just covered, right? Another thing you can look at is how could you have managed this trade so you're going to lose less on this trade? You see, how could you have lost less on this trade as you got your entries over here? What signal did the market do that you could have, like, you know, reduced your stop loss or manage your trade a bit better? Because if you just let it hit the stop loss, there's definitely something you could have improved here. A, time. B, risk. Timing and risk. That's all you got to look at every day. See, it's like, how did it know your stop was right here? Imagine now it just skyrockets up. Man, that would be annoying. You really feel like the market's out to get you at that point. So I said, like, something like here would be a little bit more safer. Because that could really fucking grind your gears. Because it's such a perfect X. And it came down like with purpose as well. That was like a big push. Then just watch it skyrocket 1,000 pips after that. Bogdanov is gonna come in and he's gonna pump it. But don't revenge trade, you know, don't do anything here. You know what happens most of the time? People would like get in and say, oh damn, that was just a manipulation. But you know, those are like paper cuts. You're giving yourself paper cuts and those usually end up really bad on the account. You're gonna get back in. The worst thing to do would be to avoid this. You gotta avoid this as much as possible. Like where you get stopped out and then you start saying something like, oh, maybe I could put my stop loss a bit differently. You want to avoid that as much as possible. So if you do end up taking a loss, like it's a confirmed loss and you're not going to come back into the trade again. Like that's what you gotta really look at that, because those little times where it's like you're taking the second trade and then it goes back against you, those are the most annoying type of losses that really build up on the account. Right, so when you take a trade, you want to be 100% sure. What are you going to do? We're going to take a profit, break even, manage your risk, and that's it. If it doesn't play out, move over to the next session. Those paper cuts, they're going to add up. Took a sell from 30.38 to 40.33. Hey Joshua, good morning, good morning. I'm in gold buy. Let's go. Alright, Prince Ellie. See you, man. Sui, enjoy your day, sir. Yesterday you went early. It was a good move after you went. Yeah, yesterday was pretty good. See, just SL hunting. Market is not going well. Is there FOMC today or cancel due to shutdown? I think we should have the meeting minutes today. It doesn't seem to be tentative. You know, when it says tentative, that means there's no time that's been decided for this event. But this looks like it's going to be on schedule here, 2 p.m. Eastern. So you should be good. That's like 6 hours from the New York session open. So there's a lot more time for price to create new all-time highs. You're still in? Do you adjust your stopping time? Good, man. Yeah, that would have really pissed me off. Those are the worst types of trades, you know? But, or did it survive? Let's see if it actually survived a bit there. Maybe you actually survived with the initial stop loss. Yeah, it looks like it just came pretty close. Seems like it came really close. That's the thing, you know, if like you put your stop loss somewhere, right? And let's say you're planning on holding it. The worst thing you're going to do is, let's say price comes down like this, and then you start closing positions. Because trust me, the market is going to make you regret it. You're just going to see one 1 minute candlestick create a support, and then all of a sudden it just starts to go up. So it kind of like squeezes you out of the trade. That's a mistake that we tend to make quite a lot when we start to trade. It's like we got our stops here, and then it's like, oh man, I'm going to lose this anyway. You close it, and then price goes in that direction. Can I use crypto trading on your strategy? Yeah, you can. Why not? You can use it. I just don't trade crypto. As long as crypto accumulates and breaks out, then I think you can use it. Look at this. Got like a small little liquidity here on that 15 minute, small little grab. You know, start seeing volume come in. Look at the time. 5:40. 20 minutes. We're going to have the new hourly open. That's the one that typically has the juice. That next hourly open has the juice. So we're going to wait over here 19 minutes. But yeah, it does look like it's trying to do something. Definitely Goldie's cooking something. Because it's accumulating here. So if we start to move up a level, remember like how we talked about in the simulation this weekend? Start moving up in levels. So this is point A. That's going to be another point A. And just going to try and keep moving up in levels. So whatever move you're about to see is definitely coming out of this zone. Right over here. We're just not yet in a distribution. That's it. But it's cooking. It's cooking. So I think even just understanding this insight is already going to help you so much with your patience. And actually understanding how markets behave. Like, you know, when they're moving, when they're stagnant. Just understanding this. You see how we're just on the 5 minute time frame looking at just this overall structure? I think it's pretty powerful. See you. Have a good day. Oh, you're gonna make some dinner? Nice. But I will reduce. Let's see. I'm in green, but I will reduce size and see if I can get sell. Oh, perfect. Ciao. Yeah, you gotta reduce size there. And we're starting to flirt with the all-time highs again. Look at this. Can we see all-time highs, Goldie? Insane. Imagine just getting stopped out like this just for this to happen. And it's like, whenever that happens, you really feel like the market has a mind of its own, right? Because it's like, why push down? Even if you look at the 1 minute time frame, it's like crazy 1 minute candles that just rip down to break that wick, like 43 pips in 2 minutes, just to break that wick and then skyrocket back up. Then you look at the 15, you investigate the 15, then you're like, damn, getting whips. It's not a joke. I think the market has like a dark sense of humor. That's why I don't like to spend too much time with the market, you know. Spend a little bit of time with your crazy friend, but you don't want to spend all the time with your crazy friend. It's coming up here again. Come on, Goldie, seriously, you're gonna always stop here? Look at this. All right, let's see that exuberance. Let's see exuberance. Just slightly broke. Let's see if these exuberance buyers can come back in. Usually as soon as it breaks those highs, we should see a skyrocket. Oh man, come on. Where the sellers always coming in here? Ruining the fun for everybody. Come on, that's no fun, Goldie. Come on. Oh, like drawdown. It's like trying to pull some people in. Sometimes I also like hit some stops when it does this. Oh man. Let's see, 1 minute structure. All right, still respecting that 1 minute support over there. Hasn't taken it out yet by 4038.71. That's only 1 minute structure here that it should actually respect. So he gets that reflip. Remember, it's moving based off conviction, right? So whenever you get all-time highs break, you're actually expecting volume to come in. So you got 5 seconds. Look at this. Candlestick is about to close above resistance. Just close above resistance. So it's done. This candlestick has done what these previous candles here couldn't do. You know, so this increases the probability now of getting a different outcome. You know, that's all that it is. Because if price is going to move up, this candle has done what all these other candles have not been able to do. So all price got to do now is break above these wicks and, you know, it should be off to the races. It increases, it gives a different variable to the outcome now that we can expect from what we had previously. That's all that it is. Oh, there we go.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Get up there, Goldie. Let's fly, Goldie. Let's fly. Buyers back in the market. Came shortly before that pre-NY candle, though. Still need a pre-NY candle here, like 15 more minutes. Just couldn't wait over here. Let's fly. Man, doctor, just imagine that stop job, man. That would be insane. That would be literally insane. Like, it would just become, that's how you feel like a victim, right? When it comes, it takes you out and then does this. Man, those are the days where you really feel shitty. But it's amazing you survived, you know? It's really important, the stop loss. Trust me, like, don't worry so much about your entries. That's why I say sometimes too, when you're learning how to trade, the stop loss is all that matters. Because you can have the best entry, but the poorest stop loss management. And then that's what takes you up before price actually goes in your direction. So you can splurge a bit. So in the future, if you ever find yourself in a situation like this, you see how close this one is to this one? Just splurge a little bit more on the stop loss, you know? In case if you're planning on holding your trade a bit longer, at least use that structure over here. Fly, Goldie, fly. This candlestick here is pushed up about like 50 pips, you know, it's distributed. So that's what we kind of like talking about here. That this is a point A, and you see that reaction, right? Almost like a zero drawdown type of effect. You see, because we know using TFX concepts, we know that market is not going to go anywhere, right? We know what the market is doing. And we got to look at the time. And you know, I think it's good that at least we're coming closer to that pre-NY candle over there. And then using that break of structure to confirm the momentum that price wants to move. Because see, now this is generally speaking that price is now moving somewhere, right? we can see that momentum has come in and there was nothing happening before this. We can all agree on that. Doesn't matter what system that you trade. We can all agree we haven't done anything, and only now it's starting to get interesting, right? So how can we always be getting interesting trades? Now that's a question that you got to ask yourself. You know, I can only put the food in the spoon, but I can't feed you the spoon. I can only put the food in the spoon. Food in the spoon. But you gotta pick up the spoon and you gotta eat it yourself. Sometimes changing your stop loss is a good thing. Yeah, I think like if you miss out on something, then you can look at it, because you know when you're taking a trade, sometimes you kind of forget, like you get a bit caught up in the action that you might miss a thing or two. But like once you're in the trade and stuck in, maybe sometimes you can think a bit clearer, and if it's a smaller adjustment, then you can adjust it. But if it's too much of an adjustment, that means your lot size is not gonna be good for that stop loss adjustment. Yeah. So yeah, I think I'm gonna end off the stream over here, guys. Congratulations to everybody who might have even caught this breakout over here, and I will see you all tomorrow for London Open, guys. Let's get it, boys. See you in the next one, boys and girls.